And with king tides, although it can unlock a novelty wave or new fishing zone, it's also a stark reminder of what sea level rise can look like. So it's a nice homage to pay for 40 years of commitment to conservation and another 40 years of doing so looking forward.
Welcome to the Woman Angler and Adventurer Podcast, inspiring real women with a passion for fishing in the outdoors to go get their adventure on. Now, here's your host, Master Captain Angie Scott.
Hey everyone, welcome to episode number 301 of the Woman Angler and Adventurer Podcast. I hope y'all enjoyed our 300th episode celebration last week, and here we are moving forward onto the next chapter of hopefully another 300 episodes of the show. So I want to give a huge shout out to Costa Sunglasses. They've been a supporter of mine and of many other female anglers throughout the industry. They put out a lot of great offerings for women, specifically for performance sunglasses and lifestyle sunglasses as well. And they stepped up in a big way this year when we were down at iCast to sponsor the Angling Women in Action Networking Night that we've talked quite a bit about on the show. But if it wasn't for brands like Costa, we wouldn't be able to make that happen. So thank you so much for showing your support in a very real way for the growth of women in fishing. And while I was down at iCast, I got a chance to visit the Costa Sunglasses space as I did last year. They're getting ready to launch the Jose Pros, which have been my favorite go-to tournament fishing Costa frame thus far this past year. But now I am super excited about this new launch that's coming out very soon that you'll be able to find in your retail stores. And this is the Costa King Tides. And if you're looking for the best pair of shades that you could possibly wear out on the water or fishing, I am telling you right now, these have got to be it. They have thought of every feature you could possibly think of, I do believe. And you're going to hear all about it on this week's episode from the foremost expert on these new frames. So look forward to you learning about that. Be sure and go to the website for this episode, thewomanangler.com/301, so you can see some photos of what we're talking about here as well. Since this is an audio podcast, I do want you to definitely go take some time to check out and see it for yourself. And we'll put some links to Costa's website. When these come out, you can actually sign up to be alerted when they're available online. I cannot wait to get my hands on them. I did get to try on a couple pairs, different versions at iCast. And like I say, I just cannot wait. So I think y'all are really going to enjoy this episode. Got a few more shows coming to you after this from iCast. So some great content yet to share from you from that show, as tend to get every summer I get the opportunity to go down there. Lots of great stuff to come and more stuff moving forward. Got some other things in the works I'm really excited about. So we're just going to keep this thing going as long as you guys keep coming back and listening. And so thank you so much for all your support. Again, subscribe, share, tell your friends about this. You wouldn't believe how many people out there I run into every day that have not heard of the Woman Angler and Adventurer podcast yet. So there's still quite a few people we need to reach and continue to grow and inspire and get more women involved in fishing in the outdoors. But without further ado, learn all about these new Costa King Tides, and I hope you'll be as excited as I am about them. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Woman Angler and Adventure Podcast. I'm back down at iCast in Orlando, Florida. and I'm sitting down with a representative from Costa Sunglasses. Had John Acosta on last year to talk about the new Jose Pros, and yet again, Costa's not disappointing us because they have another new frame that's launched, and this one is really, really special because it is made for, in my opinion, it's made for anglers. And I know most of you listening to the show, that's your passion, so you're really going to enjoy hearing about these new frames. John Murer, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. So great to be here.
Yeah, so tell the audience a little bit about what you do at Costa, and then we'll get into talking about these new things.
Sure thing. So I head up our product marketing division. So I have the lucky job of telling the stories of what all of our amazing frames represent. So I work really closely with our product development team, who are the engineers and the ideas behind what voids in the market do we want to fill. They create glasses intended for those different voids, whatever it is we're trying to do. The craziest performance frame ever, a really cool new lifestyle frame, whatever that is. Then they deliver me the nuts and bolts of that, and then I try to turn it into a really consumable story to which we then present to our consumers. So everything from naming it to organizing the photo shoots, all the creative content you see is comes from our team.
That's awesome. I think that's one of the areas that Costa really excels in because it is telling stories. I love the little short films that come out, and they're really engaging and draw you in. So good job.
Thank you. It's a lot of fun to work on for sure.
So these new frames that I want to talk about, they're called King Tide. First of all, it's kind of funny. I never had heard of King Tide before until I went to the Miami Boat Show this last year, and my friend was telling me that there's these King Tides that come in, and I was like, dang, I'd never even heard of that. So what was kind of behind the name there?
Yeah, the inspiration there was a few different levels behind it. Number one, we wanted something that represented something very powerful. This is the tip of the spear in our product offering, so having something that's very powerful was a big portion of it. King Tides require the perfect alignment of the stars, Earth, and Moon to all come together to create those once-in-a-lifetime type of views, and we see this product relaunch as one of those moments, something that, a view you only see once every 40 years. King Tides come more often than that, but this is a super special product. And with King Tides, although it can unlock a novelty wave or new fishing zone, it's also a stark reminder of what sea level rise can look like. So it's a nice homage to pay for 40 years of commitment to conservation and another 40 years of doing so looking forward. So it's multifaceted there, but I'll speak to that.
Yeah, and that's another big thing. This is the 40-year anniversary
Correct.
of Costa, so we're going to put a photo of these frames on the website for this episode because you have to see it to kind of know what we're talking about here. But if you could, verbally kind of tell the audience a little bit about some of the different features of these frames and what makes them so special.
Of course, yeah. And that 40 years is a big portion of this. We're eternally saying, this is the crowning achievement of our 40 years on the water. Every frame that's come before this, wins, losses, highs, lowest lows, all the learnings that we've had over the 40 years have made their way into this. Frames like Diego that came out 5 or so years ago, we started exploring different ventilation systems. Our Pro Series, the adjustable nose pads and the vented nose pads, sweat management channels, even the side shields. We were messing around in the late 80s with some side shields. And so it's a lot of these learnings that we've had over the last 40 years, innovations and excellence on the water have all kind of come together in a lot of different ways into this one frame. So I spoke to a couple of different features that do make this different, but really the star of the show are these removable side shields. Mm-hmm. When you take a look at the photos, you can really see it come into play. They add a lot, obviously, in the light prevention from the side, but also there's a top hooding introduced, so there's no light leak coming up from up top. And also with this innovative design, we've had 2 new ports of entry for additional airflow to reduce fogging that you might run into when out in the elements. Not only that, we have some additional additional venting on the temple tips to get even more airflow in there. And those all interact with our sweat management channels to create what our product teams call the vacuum effect, to where any sweat that pulls up in these channels or gutters is actually forced out by the airflow. My favorite feature of the whole thing, though, is these removable side shields. They have a little bit of extruded hydrolite rubber at the top that when you flip it down and you put it on any surface, adds as a non-slip grip. So when you're putting your shades down, either on the dashboard or on your center console running out, paddleboard, whatever it is that you're doing, you have a little bit extra grip there to keep them in place.
Yeah, I love that feature because I'm doing that constantly. I'm setting them down on whatever, and then you forget.
Sure.
Even, the dash of your car, and then you take off, and there go your glasses. You don't want to get your lenses scratched or anything like that. So that's a very unique feature. I want to pause for a moment and give a quick shout out to my friends over at Stealth Rod Holders. They first caught my attention at iCast a few years ago when they were showcasing their well-designed and strong quick-release rod holders made of glass-reinforced nylon. Their patented technology grips the rod handle, so no more fumbling with locking collars. This allows you to get that quick hook set and land your personal best. And if you buy the best rods like I do, St. Croix rods are the best rods on earth, you want to protect it with the best rod holder, which is hands down Stealth. And Stealth rod holders come with a lifetime warranty. Check them out at stealthrodholders.com. Very cool. I know there was a special release here just the other day about these new lenses.
Yeah, so to celebrate our 40 years, we actually did our first ever limited edition run. So we did 40 of the King Tide 6 and 40 of the King Tide 8 in a limited edition colorway. This gold colorway is beautiful. Brand new gold lens for the first time. And these were priced at $700. It's a true collectible item, and they all sold out within 12 hours. So that was a really exciting moment to see that much energy. And yeah, just an amazing celebration. And I think I actually haven't mentioned it, but this is the first time we've introduced a frame in both 6 and 8 base curvature.
Yeah, talk about that.
Sure. So as we're expanding into new geographies and making our way more out west, and just being fully inclusive of angling, but overall water sports, we wanted something that offers a little bit of a fit and stylistic extension. So generally in the southeast or anywhere on the east coast, 8 base is loved more than anything. And on the west coast, 6 base is really what the guys prefer. So we wanted to offer a pair that delivers the same amount of performance, but just has a little bit of a stylistic or fit differentiation. I thought all day I would be a 6 base wearer. I'm living out in California now. I love surf and everything, but the 8 base fits me a little bit better. So it's just a good example of, just a fit or a style difference.
So tell the listeners the difference between the curvature of those two.
Sure. So an 8 base is classic bread and butter, what you know and love from Costa. That's super high wrap. I wish you guys could see my hands right now.
Right.
But really wraps all the way around to prevent any light block coming in from the sides. So they do a great job of that. 6 base is a little bit flatter. It's generally a little bit more lifestyle base. And to give you an idea, a lot of say Ray-Ban frames that you see that are strictly lifestyle, those are actually 4 base, so even flatter. So a little bit less is generally associated with less performance. But the addition of our side shields on the 6 have allowed us to deliver the same amount of performance. So when you guys see photos of the frames, you'll see that the side shield in the 6 is actually a little bit bigger than the 8 because it has a little bit more of that gap to fill on the side. So they both deliver the same amount of protection, but just a little bit of stylistic differences.
Nice. Well, I got to try both versions on, and both were extremely comfortable. I would probably go with the one that's a little more curved just for the added performance.
Sure.
But one thing, my first comment when I tried them on was how lightweight they are.
Mm-hmm.
So talk a little bit about that.
Sure, yeah. We're always trying to reduce the weight that we have on these. People wear these 12 plus hours a day out of the water, so the more comfortable it is, certainly a point of design that we always strive to reduce.
Nice. Well, and another comment about the curved ones is I'm also always out there with the hat on.
Sure.
And so, that provides a little more comfort there, too, because you have less weight from your hat kind of resting on the top of the frame.
It hugs the face a little bit more, so you don't have the bill sitting on it as much. Yeah.
Very cool. Anything upcoming about these? Are there going to be more special releases?
Yes, we're really in our early stages of releases right now. Like I said, we had the limited edition launch on our website yesterday. Those are totally sold out. There's a few select retailers that have avant premiere, just early access to the frames. So check Costa.com for your local retailers that will have those in stock. But the full release is going to be the second week of September, where all stores will be receiving the frames and all the different lens colorways. Right now, it's only available with black frame and blue mirror, just the initial start. This is a homage, our bestseller. It's just classic bread and butter for Costa. Yeah. But second week of September, available at all Costa dealers, all colorways on our website, everything. So check it out.
Nice. And prescription options?
Fully, everything in our sunglass portfolio, we could put prescription lenses in.
Perfect.
So we have a full in-house lab that we get all the optics dialed in perfectly for you. Fully available prescription as well.
Very cool. Well, I highly encourage all listeners to check these out. I think they're going to be my new favorite go-to frame from Costa for fishing especially, but anytime I'm on the water boating or whatever it may be. So super exciting stuff. Again, I'll put photos of these on the website so you can see what we're talking about here. And thanks for taking some time out of a busy iCast to share with our listeners about these new King Tides.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. It's an exciting story to talk about. Thank you so much.